What's up, YouTube? Team Movies here with Angry Birds 2 Hidden Years Tomorrow. Since the film is, of course, a sequel to 2016 Angry Birds, and since it has birds in it, obviously, because it's titled Angry Birds, but I decided to do my top 10 favorite bird movies. Like, there's been some interesting bird films over the years, so whether they're penguins, chickens, or whatever. There are still bird films around. So, that being said, here's my 10 favorite bird movies. Alright, coming in at number 10 will kind of be a childhood favorite of mine, and that is a film called Fly Away Home. Now, this film stars a very young Anna Paquin, who plays this kid named Amy, who ends up losing her mother in a car accident. So she ends up moving to Canada to live with her father, Thomas, played by Jeff Daniels, who's like a oddball inventor with she has like no relationship with, and so things end up changing when they end up stumbling upon a collection of abandoned goose eggs, and like when the eggs ends up hatching, her and her dad must work together to teach the motherless birds to fly south during winter, and their relation. And it's also like it's about birds. Yeah, it's about like gooses trying to fly and all. But this movie is also a really nice father and daughter relationship movie. Now I really like the chemistry between Anna Paquin and Jeff Daniels. The geeses, those were some of the most cutest birds I've seen on screen. I mean, who doesn't love gooses or geeses or whatever? And I remember watching this movie as a kid. I sort of teared up a little. I'm not gonna lie, but yeah, Fly Away Home is, I guess you could say it's like Free Willy, but with birds in a way. Like this film had a bit of a Free Willy feel to it, just it had birds instead of a whale. But if you guys haven't seen Fly Away Home yet, it's a really good film, and yeah, very inspirational, very touching, and yeah. Alright, coming in at number 9 is going to be a film called Storks. Now, this movie was directed by Nicholas Stoller, who also directed, the Neighbors movies. He did Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and he also recently scripted the recent Dora movie that just got released. And Storks is a really underrated animated gem. I mean, it's really about this giant bird named Junior, voiced by Andy Samberg, who's like the company's top delivery stork, and he ends up being in hot water when like a baby factory produces a very adorable but wholly notarized girl, and also like they pretty much I mean this desperate to deliver the bundle of trouble. Junior and his new friend Tulip, voiced by this actress named Katie Crown, who's like the only human on the Stork Mountain, have to like race against time to make their first baby drop. And you got Kelsey Grammer, who voices their boss in this, and they got get there before their bosses find out. You also had really interesting voice cast that includes you had Jennifer Aniston lending her voice in this, Ty Burrell, Keegan Michael Key, and Jordan Peele was both in this. Yeah, Storks is a really funny, entertaining anime film. It's really cute. I mean, it's when you were kids, lots of people always told you that where babies come from is the stork and all. We all know that story and all. So it was pretty cool to see a movie about that unfold and all. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen Storks, the movie got released in, I think it got released in, I think 2016. Yeah, I think it got released in 2016. And it's really good. Like, if you guys haven't seen Storks yet, definitely check it out. And Jimbo, we never got you to see a sequel, because I would love to have seen another one. Alright, coming in at number 8 is going to Chicken Little. I mean, obviously chickens are, of course, birds. I mean, yeah, like, obviously. And Chicken Little, I remember watching this one time, and I think it's one of Disney's most underrated and most underappreciated anime films. I mean, you got this young chicken named Chicken Little, voiced by Zach Braff, who pretty much shows his small town into a very panic by claiming that the sky is like falling in on. So pretty much like a year later, Lil tries to like redeem himself by joining like a baseball team and pretty much hopes to win a crucial game. And so like later that night, he ends up hitting the head again, and there's an actual UFO that evades her. And of course, Zach Braff voices the Tyro. He also had an interesting voice cast that included Joan Cusack. Don Knotts was actually in this, so it's pretty interesting hearing Don Knotts in this. Yeah, Chicken Little is. I mean, there's people who still like Chicken Little, and there's some people who think it's one of Disney's worst animated films. But I think to me, it's one of Disney's most underappreciated films. This and Brother Bear, I think, are probably two of Disney's most underrated and underappreciated films they've done. I really quite enjoy Chicken Little, and it still pains me they never really went ahead and did a sequel because I would love to have seen a Chicken Little sequel. And did I accidentally say Chicken Run? My bad. There was like two major chicken movies. There was one called Chicken Run and another called Chicken Little. I think I accidentally called this Chicken Run by mistake. But yeah, it's Chicken Little. So, but yeah, if you guys still haven't seen Chicken Little, it's a really decent one. All right, coming in at number 7, the sequel of this is coming tomorrow, so why not? Number 7 is going to The Angry Birds. Now, of course, The Angry Birds is based on the app game that features birds in them and all. And I mean, I never played the app game or anything, so and I kind of thought when they first announced it, I thought it sounded like a dumb idea. But then the film turned out to be a really quite surprise. I not really quite enjoyed the Angry Birds. I thought it was really cute. It was fun, entertaining. You like had an interesting voice cast that included Jason Sudeikis, who voices the role of Red. You had Josh Gad in this, Peter Dinklage, Danny McBride, Sean Penn. A really cool voice cast that they got together for this. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen the first Angry Birds, I'll say give that one a shot. And of course, I'm seeing Angry Birds 2 tomorrow. Yeah, I'll give my review for that tomorrow. So yeah. All right. Coming in at number 6 is going to Stuart Little 2. Now, obviously, Stuart Little is about a mouse and all, but they of course did a sequel to this where Stuart ends up, pretty much rescuing a. They end up rescuing a bird named Margot, voiced by Melanie Griffin, and they try to like pretty much get her to get Margot to a safe environment because she's being chased by this Eva Falcon, voiced by James Woods. And Stuart Little 2 isn't as good as the first Stuart Little because I still prefer the first film over this one. But I still quite enjoy Stuart Little. I mean, it was pretty funny hearing Melody Griffith. It was funny hearing Melody Griffith as the voice of the bird here. James Woods, I thought was excellent here. Michael J. Fox is once again voicing Stuart Little. You also had Nathan Lane was once back again as a snowboard. Of course, the human characters include, of course, the human performances were Hugh Laurie, Gina Davis, and Jonathan Lipnicki. And yeah, I really quite enjoyed Stuart Little too. I mean, I remember actually watching this movie in theaters when it got released. Like, I'm not kidding. I literally saw this movie in theaters, and I really quite enjoyed it. Like, if you guys haven't seen Stuart Little 2, or Stuart Little 1 actually, go check them out. And the Falcon looked cool too, by the way. All right.
I told Jeremy that night.
Alright, coming in at number 5 is going to Rio. Now, uh, Jesse Eisenberg voices this macaw named Blue, who really never learned to fly, and he's pretty much ended up being and his owner is voiced by Leslie Mann, and he also ends up falling for this female bird voiced by Anne Hathaway, who I thought was pretty cool in this. And so, like, pretty much, Jewel is like a lone female who lives in Rio de Janeiro, and so, like, Blue and Linda, who's of course Linda is the owner, goes to try and meet her, but animal smugglers end up kidnapping Blue and Jewel, and so, like, the pair tries to escape and begins a adventure back to freedom, and Blue is also trying to go back to his owner and all. I mean, Rio had an interesting voice cast, like the voice cast in this included George Lopez lended his voice in this. You had Jamie Foxx, um, Jermaine Clement, Rodrigo Santoro, Will I Am, Tracy Morgan. Some really cool, voice cast lending their voice in this, and yeah, I really quite enjoyed Rio, and Rio 2 is actually pretty good too. I really quite enjoyed Rio 2 as well. And I'm still surprised we haven't seen Rio 3 yet, but, who knows? Maybe we'll see one in the near future. I don't know. But, yeah, if you guys never seen Rio 1 or 2, go check them out. They're really good. Alright, coming in at number 4 is probably the mother of all birds. I mean, come on. My number 4 favorite is going to Follow That Bird. Now, of course, the bird in question this is obviously the most popular bird in pop culture, and that's going to be Big Bird. I mean, come on, you can't do a best bird movie and not dig up adding Big Bird on this list. Now, I literally used to own this movie on VHS. Yes, we had there was VHSs around, but yeah, Follow That Bird, I really quite enjoyed. It pretty much was of course, it was the first time the Sesame Street Gang came to the big screen, and this movie, of course, centered on Big Bird, who really loves spending the day on Sesame Street with his best friends and all. And so you got this social worker named Miss Finch, who pretty much feels that that he should live in an environment with only birds like himself and all. While she brings Big Bird to her prom and all, he pretty much cannot help think that he kind of really wants to go back to go back to his home and with his friends and all. So he pretty much begins a journey, back to where he belongs and all. And I quite love Follow That Bird. I mean, I'm a 27-year-old guy, and I'm not gonna lie, I still rewatched this movie on Encore recently, and I think it still holds up today. I really dug Follow That Bird. I mean, Big Bird is just he's the most he's obviously the most iconic bird there is. Besides a Tweety bird and all. I mean, he's the most iconic bird. And yeah, Follow That Bird is a really good one. If you guys still haven't seen Follow That Bird yet, go check that one out. It's a really good one. So, okay, coming in at number 3 is going to probably one of Zack Snyder's most underrated films. My number 3 favorite is going to Legends of the Guardians, The Owls of Ga'Hoole. Now, it's about this young barn owl named Soren who ends up being kidnapped by owls of St. Agnes. And so him and his new friend, and so him and a bunch of his new friends try to escape to the island of Ga'Hoole. And there's pretty much army a group of armies who are trying to pretty much try to capture the owls as well. This movie is really visually stunning. I mean, obviously it's Zack Snyder, and he makes some really cool, stunning films. And he also had Hugo Weaving lending his voice in this film. And I mean, hold on, let me. All right, I'm back. Anyway, the other voice cast includes the likes of Jim Sturgis, who voiced the Tyrell. Helen Mirren was in this. You also had Jeffrey Rush, Sam Neill. I mean, interesting voice cast. And this movie is a really stunning film. It's actually really dark for kids. Like, this movie is PG, but I wouldn't suggest younger kids should see this movie because it's pretty dark and pretty intense than you expect. But if you guys never seen Legend of the Guardians, it's a really good one. All right, coming in at number 2, it is going to. Okay, coming in at number 2 is going to The Crow. This is of course based on the graphic novel, and I mean it stars it of course stars Brandon Lee as as pretty much this guy who ends up where him and his wife ends up getting brutally murdered, and so he ends up getting so like on the anniversary of their death, and he ends up rising from the grave, and he ends up being assumed by the gothic mentor of the Crow. And so it's kind of a revenge film, and he's trying to take down he's trying to take down the people responsible. And of course, the villain in this is Michael Wincott. And of course, uh, the production of The Crow, by the way, is really tragic because Brandon Lee, who by the way is the son of Bruce Lee. Brandon Lee tragically died on the set of this movie when like someone accidentally shot him because they thought that they accidentally shot him with real bullets and all, and that was a really this was a really tragic production. But The Crow is despite the everything that went on the set and despite the tragic and all, The Crow is iconic. It's one of Brandon Lee's most iconic roles. Sadly, was one of his final. It was like his final role. Tragically, that guy was gone way too soon. I mean, Brandon Lee was. I thought he was definitely terrific in this movie. And Alex Proza did a good job at directing. And if you guys never seen The Crow yet, go check out The Crow. I mean, the Crow itself looked cool too. So, all right. Now, my favorite bird movies of all time is pretty much When Birds Attack. My number one favorite is Alfred Hitchcock's iconic film, The Birds. I mean, you cannot do a best birdless movie and not think of adding other birds on this list. I mean, it's where like these and by the way, believe it or not, the birds in this movie, like obviously back in that day, you know, visual effects wasn't a thing, and all like they didn't really have much visual effects as we do now. Like believe it or not, those birds was actually real. Like it's unlike it's unlike Jaws, where Jaws obviously was mechanic. These birds was literally real, and Alfred Hitchcock really trained these birds really great. And it's where like birds are attacking this village and all, and it's such an iconic film. You had Tippi Hedren who played like the lead in this. You had Rod Taylor. He was great. I mean, the birds all look really cool here. I mean, this movie actually is the reason why lots of people are afraid of being around birds. Like, I'm not kidding. And yeah, it's probably one of my favorite Alfred Hitchcock films too. I mean, The Birds is just such a great movie. I mean, the movie got released in like the '60s, and it's a still a really great film. And yeah, it's also really creepy than you expect, and it's pretty nuts. And these birds attack people in some really crazy way. And yeah, if you guys haven't seen The Birds by now, go check it out. It's a really good one. All right, wait for this truck to pass by. Okay. All right, now that's pretty much it. Let me do the quick rundown. 10, Fly Away Home. 9, Storks. 8, Chicken Little. 7, The Angry Birds. 6, Stuart Little 2. 5, Rio. 4, Follow That Bird. 3, Legend of the Guardians. 2, The Crow. 1, The Birds. Now, there's a few other bird movies I probably could have added. A lot of Penguins movies, by the way. Happy Feet, March of the Penguins. There's, of course, The Big Year that got released. Three Birds. Um, Polly. Uh, uh, Bird Box did not have birds in them, so I don't. I mean, Bird Box is a weird film genre and such. There's of course Happy Feet 2. I mean, some interesting bird-based movies. Oh, not to mention The Big Year with Jack Black, Owen Wilson, and Steve Martin. That was also good too. So yeah, but let me leave it to you guys. What are some of your favorite bird movies? Drop a comment below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit that bell for more notifications. This here is Team Movie Site.